Nautical Savage. We're so excited to have you join us for our grand opening today.
Get ready to enter the Thrive Time Show.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here.
We started from the bottom, now we're on the top. Teaching you the systems to get what we got. Cutting Dixon's on the hooks, I break down the books. Z's bringing some wisdom and the good looks. As the father of five, that's why I'm alive. So if you see my wife and kids, please tell them hi. It's the C&Z up on your radio. And now 3, 2, 1, here we go.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom and we'll show you.
All right, Thrive Nation, on today's show, we're going to be interviewing a very successful franchise owner, the founder of Successful Franchises, plural. And what I'm going to try to do is ask him 21 questions in 20 minutes. We'll see if I can keep up and if he can keep up. Now, without any further ado, Peter Taunton, welcome onto the Thrive Time Show. How are you, sir?
Hey, Clay, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. Good to be back.
So tell us just briefly your background so that people out there know why you have some credibility on this topic of franchising.
Well, I've been franchising for about 25 years. On 3 separate occasions, I've created brands and grown those brands to over 1,000 locations. In fact, today, across those 3 brands, I've got roughly 5,000 locations in 28 countries. I'm just launching my 4th brand right now. I'm 2 years into it, and in that time, we've awarded almost 180 territories. We have 54 stores open. We've got about 50 to 60 stores actively under construction. So I pride myself in really understanding franchising, number one, but 2, most importantly, I pride myself on being able to create brands that are relevant, that resonate with the population. And you know what? If people don't support your brand, the franchisees can't make money. The big wheel doesn't turn.
Second question for you is a lot of people maybe don't know the brands that you've built. Could you fire off those names for us just so people can look you up and verify that you're not a hologram?
John, you got it. The parent company is called Lift Brands, and underneath it is Snap Fitness, 9 Round, and Fitness on Demand. My 4th brand is called Nautical Bowls. That's the one I'm actively involved with right now. I'm one of the co-founders and CEO of that brand, and we're just off to the races.
Now we're getting into the weeds now. Here we go. Question number 3 here. I know a lot of very successful franchise owners, people that own multiple franchises. We would call those franchisees, not the founders of the franchise. We call those franchisors, but the franchisees, people that own multiple Little Caesars or multiple Sports Clips or multiple brands, and they're very successful. And they tell me what they love about it is that the corporate already thought of everything, and now their job is just to knock out the daily action items. So they love the idea that it's very repeatable, it's very repetitive, and that they don't have to worry about it not working if they just follow the systems. And I've also met a lot of people that are not successful in franchising, and what they're looking for is a new idea every day because they hate doing the things that work over and over. So I'd love to get your thoughts about why is it that the super successful franchisees tend to love doing the repetitive tasks, and those that are not successful tend to loathe following those systems?
We spend a lot of time telling our franchisees, look, this business, we're going to teach you what to do week in, week out. So we're going to put together a 30-day plan of action for you. And when you get to the last day of the month, you flip it over and you do it again. And you're going to do that 12 times a year. And that's the biggest part for franchisees is, look, we've experimented in all the things that work, the things that don't work. We decipher through that and we put the best practices on the forefront. Because as you know, if you try to do 10 things, you do 4 of them great and 6 of them lousy. So what we do is we give you 3 or 4 things to focus on that are going to move the needle. And that's the key. Great brand and great processes. And it's up to you as the franchisee. Follow the process, follow the franchise advice, and in most cases, you'll do just fine.
Question number 4. A lot of successful franchises that I see, franchisees, they say they love the fact that the plan is simple. They love the fact that the plan is simple. The people that bought a franchise, and I'm not saying they bought a franchise from you, but people that have bought a franchise of other brands who often will come to me at a conference and they'll complain about the franchise they bought. They'll say, I don't like that the plan is so simple. I wish there was more to it. Why is the simple plan the plan that moves the needle for franchising?
Because it's an easy process to follow. And that's a critical mistake a lot of brands do. They overthink. or franchisees, they overthink the process. They think they have to do more. In most cases, if you've got a great franchisor, they've thought of everything. Okay. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't think outside the box a little bit now and then, but don't make a practice of it. Follow the process and trust the process.
Question number 5, checklists. Oh, successful franchisees love checklists. Your franchisees love checklists. I mean, if you go to nauticalbulls.com and you buy a Nautical Bulls franchise from you guys, you have a system and a checklist for everything. But a lot of people by default don't like following checklists. What's the importance of checklists within franchising?
It keeps you focused. It keeps you on task. And the checklist, if it's done right, everything's going to be done in an order of importance or in a chronological order as to how it should happen throughout the day. So it keeps you on point. It keeps you on schedule. Look, I have a checklist in my personal life and my business life. I've been doing it since I've been 12 years old. It works.
Our next question here. This is one that'll irritate some people. I find that the great people, the most successful people on the planet, they bore down, while people that struggle with mediocrity tend to suffer from boredom. I'll repeat, the greats among us tend to bore down and really focus on, like in your case, following a checklist for your personal life and your business, whereas mediocre people tend to struggle with boredom. Could you talk about that, the importance of boring down and doing it over and over as opposed to looking for the new idea of the week?
If you find something that's working, if you buy a franchise and it resonates with the public, the business is thriving, it's growing. Those are the franchise brands you got to double down on. Okay. And sometimes people, as you said, boredom. If you're bored with the franchise that you chose, you've probably purchased the wrong franchise. Okay. And look, some people just get bored easily, or it's hard for them to retain focus. In those cases, find a manager to run your store that's going to do these things. Hey, look, probably 75% of my franchisees are semi-absentee owners. So they find managers that are going to do those things so they can focus on other things. At the end of the day, you got to focus on what matters. As far as the business goes, here's the 3 or 4 or 5 things you need to do, and that's what you need to focus on.
You know, one thing that you've done well with Snap Fitness and Nautical Bulls and other brands I've watched it from afar is when you have your conferences or your get-togethers with your franchisees, you do not waste their time. People can go online and look you up, and you're going to find that the franchisees report that the conferences that you do, when you do them, they're very much focused on business growth. They're not focused on just a bunch of random ideas and exciting new theories. Can you talk about your role as a franchisor and the kind of things that, if you're going to have a conference or an in-person training with your franchisees, the kinds of things that you focus on?
Look, every month I do the first Monday of every month, I do a CEO call with all of my franchisees. They can log in. It's a Zoom call and it's a vision. It's kind of a state of the union. I think it's important, especially with an emerging brand, that you have transparency. You share with them the vision. You share with them of what you want to accomplish. And I tell you what, it breeds confidence, because if my franchisees heard my lectures a year and a half ago, when I'm talking about what I intend to do, and here we are a year and a half later with 175 awarded licenses, they see that, look, this guy, he knows what he's talking about. What he says he's going to do, he actually does it. It's not hype. It's not pie in the sky. He knows what he's doing. That breeds confidence in me and in the brand. And that makes my job easier.
Assets put money in your pocket. Liabilities take money out of your pocket. I repeat, assets put money in your pocket. Liabilities take money out of your pocket. People that buy a franchise from Nautical Bulls, they're not buying one to hang out. They're not buying one because they're trying to fill a hole in their soul or to check that box in their life so they can say they own one. They're buying it because they want to make money. They want to make more money than they're spending. Can you talk about the financing of nauticalbulls.com? If somebody out there wants to buy a Nautical Bulls, what kind of financing do you have available so that people can cash flow profitably very quickly?
Yeah, to your point, Clay, I always tell people, if it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. So for us to qualify, you need to come to the table with 100,000 cash. If you can come to the table with 100,000 cash, if you have a net worth of 250,000 or more, and a FICO score of 750 or higher, we can get you financed. And they'll find these businesses are about 350,000 all in. Some of them are less, depending on what part of the country you work in. We've had some that have been open for 300,000. But the bottom line, you come to the table with 100,000. We finance the balance over 10 years, no penalty for early payoff. So we make it very easy for people to get into business. And that's the other side of it. You know, we want to help those people that aspire to be entrepreneurs, to chase their own dream, to find their way to financial freedom. We want to help them get in the game.
Now, one of the brands I've worked with over the years is called oxyfresh.com, and oxyfresh.com, it really is a wonderful franchise for people that are, looking to get into the carpet cleaning space. However, we have like 517 locations, so we're kind of running out of territories because of the size of the territories. And if somebody's going to go to Nautical Bowls today and buy a Nautical Bowls franchise, what I would tell somebody, and correct me if I'm wrong, is if you buy a Nautical Bowls franchise, the idea is this is a vehicle that can create time freedom and financial freedom for you. That's the reward you're looking for, is time freedom and financial freedom. But what you have to trade off for that time freedom and financial freedom is you have to follow the systems. You have to follow them. And so some people say, that is awesome. You already have a system. All I have to do is follow it. But some people say, that seems repetitive. All I do every day is sell the same product. So who would not be a good fit, or who would be a good fit for nauticalbowls.com franchises?
Well, look, you know what, we look for people that they're not afraid to look outside the box, because we appreciate that. But at the end of the day, first and foremost, they got to follow the process, and we lay it out for them, so it's very clear cut. So for us, we want people that follow the directions. Most importantly, we like people that like to be in the game. They like to be people facing, so they smile easily. One of the beautiful things about our concept: one full-time employee, 10 to 15 part-timers, not a lot of moving parts. The simplicity of our business is what attracts so many entrepreneurs to our space. Over half of our franchisees are multi-unit owners, and they're multi-unit owners, number one, because the affordability and the finance of it. Number two, the simplicity of it. So who do we look for? We look for people that can follow directions and follow the process. When they do that, they win. It's pretty simple.
Now, I'm sure you've never had a franchisee in any of your businesses that's ever thought they wanted to own a franchise, only to discover that it wasn't a good fit for them. I'm trying to save somebody the pain of wasting your time. But just one example of a repetitive task you have to do if you buy a Nautical Bowls franchise is you have to do a good job. Got to wow the customer, and you got to gather objective Google reviews, because this just in, people read the reviews before they buy a product or service. I'd love to get your thoughts on this. If somebody buys a Nautical Bowls franchise, what kind of areas do they need to focus on in terms of delivering an excellent product? What kind of things do they need to focus on? One, and then two, I hate to do a two-part question, but number two is, why do they then have to also ask for objective reviews? So what do they have to do to deliver excellence? And then why do they have to ask for objective reviews?
I think the most tedious responsibility for a franchisee is to get outside their doors and walk into businesses and offer to drop off bowl samples, okay, Nautical Bowl samples, because it's a new space. Everyone who tries it absolutely loves the product, but you've got to get out there and bring the bowl to the people, because they don't know what an acai bowl is. So that's probably the largest burden for people to overcome, that they've got to get outside their doors and make the introductions. When you do that, people come back, they come into the store. Okay. We ask people all the time if they like the product, if they like the service, to give us a Google review. That's critical, because that just moves you up the Google list. When you get, for us, we honestly, we shoot for 30 to 50 Google reviews a week. So that's where we're at. We're always driving it, because it's free marketing for it. It's free validation. It's key.
Now, again, you and I have not colluded on this. We haven't talked about this offline. What you just referred to as far as dropping off samples, I call that the Dream 100. There's a book called The Ultimate Sales Machine written by Chet Holmes. We haven't talked about that offline, but I highly recommend it. We might call it the Dream 100. What do you call the dropping off of Nautical Bowls within your language?
Look, for us, it's just really, it's getting out there and just being part. We create a beautiful community and culture inside our four walls. You got to take that same energy and bring it out to the community that you serve. We're talking about a mile or 2 mile distance around our stores. So we strongly advocate for being part of the school, being part of the school fundraisers, getting products, doing employee appreciation days. So we set it up where people can be mobile. We see our stores at farmers markets. We see them at, parades, all kinds of things. So look, we make it easy for you to take your show on the road, which is important for brand awareness within your trade area.
Final three questions for you. Well, I call it the no-brainer. I don't know what you call it, but you make an offer so good people can't say no to it. It's kind of hard to say no to a deeply discounted fresh food. What kind of no-brainer do you guys offer for first-time customers at Nautical Bowls? Like, what kind of a hot offer do you offer for that first-time customer?
It's an easy one. Look, if people walk into our store and they become a loyalty guest, all they have to do is download our mobile app. Okay. If they download the mobile app, they pay for their first bowl, they get their second bowl free. Okay. So just by downloading our app and becoming a loyalty guest, they get their second bowl absolutely free. Second point of it is every 10 bowls they purchase, they get a free bowl. In addition to that, they can open up their app, they pay for it. If they're driving home from work, they can order it, swing by on the way in. Doesn't matter if there's 15 people in line, they walk right to the front of the line, they grab their bowl, they're off to the races. So for us, that works, it's effective, and our loyalty guests absolutely love it.
Final questions I have here for you. What kind of vehicle are you in? It appears like you're in a Batmobile. And then if people, it appears like you're in a Batmobile. And then the second question would be, how many franchises have you sold to date between all of the different brands that you've built? So what kind of vehicle are you in there, sir?
Right now, I'm in McLaren, a McLaren GT.
McLaren GT.
Great car.
Is there any room
McLaren
in there? It doesn't appear like it has the spaciousness of my white van. Is there room in there? I mean,
hey, here's all I need. I've got room for a passenger, and I've got my golf clubs in the back.
Okay.
So what more does a guy need, right?
Okay. Okay. And then how many franchises have you sold total between all the brands? And I don't want to paint you to a corner, but I mean, is it more than a number or?
Yeah, it's been thousands, unique franchisees, it's been thousands, but actually locations and licenses, thousands, 5,000-6,000 locations easily.
Wow. And again, folks, that's nauticalbowls.com. Now, one thing that's great about nauticalbowls.com is they believe in providing you a free education. Now, what am I saying? They believe in sowing seeds into your life. They're not going to give you a hand out, but they do give you a hand up. And if you want to schedule a free consultation to learn more about buying a Nautical Bowls franchise, you just go to nauticalbowls.com, and you just schedule a consultation there. And again, this is something you can do for free today. You can schedule a consultation to see if it's a good fit. Peter Taunton, I'll give you the final word, sir. What would you say to all the listeners out there that are taking notes?
Absolutely. Go onto the website. Just click on franchise opportunities, fill out the profile. Doesn't cost you anything. If anything, you get a free education about the acai bowl space and why it's so relevant and why it's the hottest growing category in the healthy fast casual space. So we like I said, we give people an opportunity. We're awarding franchises every week to lucky people, and the stores, they're thriving. So we're very blessed, very fortunate.
Brother, thank you so much for your time. Have a great rest of your day. We'll talk to you next week.
I appreciate it, Clay. Take care, brother. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. All right, we're joined here today with an actual friend of mine, longtime friend of mine. Started out as an employee of mine. No, actually, he started out as an employee for a client of mine. So this guy, today's guest, he was an A-player employee for one of my clients, scorebasketball.com. And then he became an employee of mine. He reached out to his employer at the time and said, hey, do you mind if I work for Clay Clark in the morning before I come to my job here? And he said, no problem. And he did an all-star job working with me. And then when today's guest heard about the opportunity to open up a tip-top canine franchise in the great state of Tennessee and in the great city of Nashville, he jumped on the opportunity. So JT Lawson, welcome on to the Thrive Time Show. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, first off, can you tell everybody out there, how did you and I first meet? What was that connection like?
We first met, I was working for Score Basketball, and we used to have a meeting, and we would go through one of your books. We would go through this book every day at the meetings. And so I started learning a little bit about you like that. And I thought at the time you were some business guru who doesn't sleep, who is all knowing when it comes to business. And then I just got done doing going to college for business. So I was like, I guarantee you, I know everything he does because I went to school for business. And so I got invited to the meetings where you were coaching them, going through the tracking sheet, tracking their cold calls, their ad stats, how much came in, just all the numbers you need to know. And all of the stuff you went through in the meeting was stuff I had literally never heard of in all of my years of college. So then I asked if I could go to a business conference that you were hosting, and clients of yours get to go for free. So I got to go. I showed up and I just started asking questions. And I was like, hey, how do I get mentors in my life that are business owners and not just employees? And you were like, when do you work for SCORE? And I was like, at nighttime. And you were like, come work for me in the morning. And I was like, deal. So, and I didn't know if it was paid or not or whatever. I was just coming and I didn't care. And then I went and I checked with, and you were like, check with SCORE, make sure it's okay with them and everything. And then I did. And now we're here.
Now, SCORE basketball, you probably don't know this part of the story, but Don Calvert, I'm going to pull this up on the screen so people can see this. Don Calvert, the owner of SCORE basketball, is a very, very good friend of mine. And he got referred to me because he had this wonderful idea of opening a basketball training facility. And I'm going to share with everybody his testimonial at the end of today's show so you can see it. He knew how to train kids in basketball, but he didn't know how to grow a successful company. And so I sat down with Don, and we went through everything that we needed to do to grow a successful company. Now, folks, if you're listening right now, you can go to thrivetimeshow.com/millionaire, thrivetimeshow.com/millionaire. And I'm going to walk you through this. You can download this book for free right now. It's no cost to you. It's thrivetimeshow.com/millionaire. And I let him see from my perspective how we were going to grow his company. So you go to page 5 and I lay out, okay, here's what we got to do to grow your company. And folks, I'll try to zoom in a little bit so everyone can see this and follow along. But I said, we got to figure out your revenue goals, your yearly revenue goals. What are your goals per year? And he told me the number. And I said, okay, so what are your total weekly gross revenue goals? And he goes, I hadn't really thought about that before, but my weekly revenue goals are this. And I said, okay, how many students do you need to break even? And he's going, I hadn't really thought about that either. But he's a smart guy. He's a nice guy. He just never thought about these things. He's educated guy, went to college guy, read a lot of books guy. And I said, well, how many hours a week are you willing to work? And he's like, I hadn't really thought about that either. Like, okay, and now what's the unique value proposition? What does SCORE do that nobody else does? And he says, I've trained a certain number of players who've now played in the NBA. And I said, what? And he goes, oh yeah, I've trained a lot of guys who've gone on to play in the NBA. And I said, does anybody else know this? He says, no. I said, okay, we got to get that history of success on the website. We got to start filming testimonials. And so we began to do that process, and so that people could see how many players that Don has coached who now are playing at the NBA or college level. And then once we did that, I said, do you have a no-brainer? And he says, a no-brainer? What's a no-brainer? And I said, well, the no-brainer is an offer so hot that you simply cannot say no to the offer. And he goes, well, I don't have a no-brainer. He said, I start my lessons off at this many dollars per lesson. And I said, we need to offer the first lesson for $1. He says, why $1? He said, am I going to cheapen the brand? Are people going to take me seriously? I said, oh yeah. So we offered the first deal for $1. And I said, Don, you have to call every single customer you've ever worked with and get them to leave you an objective review, because you've got like 3 reviews on Google. You've been doing this for 20 years and you're not making any money. We got to do this. So I helped Don with that. We established the no-brainer. Then after that, we improved the branding, the print pieces, the websites, the logo, everything needed, all the print pieces, the branding, the logo. We did all that. Then we had to come up with a 3-legged marketing stool. Now, the 3-legged marketing stool is how you go about getting customers. So what's interesting is the Tip Top Canine franchise model is almost exactly the same as SCORE basketball. And you worked in SCORE basketball and you saw that. So every single week, Don has to gather objective Google reviews from happy customers every week. And then we have to write articles so that this website comes up top in Google. And then we have to run ads over and over and over that reach their ideal and likely buyers, and retargeting ads that follow people around. So let me show you. So if you go to Google and you type in Tulsa basketball lessons, you scroll down, SCORE basketball comes up top. They come up top again. They come up there. They're and the first 10, they're here. This is an ad. So if you type in Tulsa basketball lessons, ad, they come up top here. 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 And then the phone begins to ring. And Don's going, man, the phone's ringing. Well, now we have to build a sales system where you have recorded calls using a company called clarityvoice.com. You have the scripts, the people that follow the scripts. By the way, that's a little bit of a challenge for business owners to write a script. This is all the stuff we coach Don through. And from the time I started working with Don to now, he's grown his company. I want to say 6 times larger than it used to be. But JT, I call this is the crap you got to do to keep the business going. The core, repeatable, actionable processes. So I want to ask you this. Why did I have to go over the same topics with you? And you weren't the owner, by the way, but why would I have to meet with you and the manager and yourself every week to go over the same topics every single week?
Basically, the big one is accountability. Just having that accountability partner, because no one just has a burning desire to go out, get Google reviews, to track things, to figure out where leads are coming from, to check how much we're spending on ads or how much it costs per click. And these are things you have to do. And you have to check it often, or else the business starts to drift in a way that you don't want.
Now,
So
I'm going to bring up
that's what you have
Aaron
to do.
Antis here for a second here. What we're talking about, Aaron,
what a
is
beautiful
why, after you build these initial systems to build a business,
Yes, sir.
why you have to go over the same stuff over and over and over again. Now, let me bring this up for a second here. I want to show people this. I don't know if people are aware of this, but I'm going to pull it up so you can see. 96% of businesses fail, according to Inc. magazine, by default.
Yep.
And Aaron, you've seen wonderful people that have come in here and they've said, Aaron, Clay's helped you to grow Shaw Homes from 19 million to 140 plus $1 million. You've been working with Clay for 5 years plus.
Yep.
Could you help me? And you watch it happen. I sit down with them.
Yep.
I establish the revenue goals. I go over the break-even numbers. I go over the number of hours we're willing to work.
Mm-hmm.
We rebrand the whole company.
Oh, yeah.
We get them to the top of Google. We optimize their website. And where most people start to get frustrated is this box down here, this little box here called management or execution.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you this. Why do you and I, because we meet every week, why do we have to go over every single week the same core, repeatable, actionable processes? I'm going to type this on the agenda so everyone can see this. Every week, you have to get Google reviews from happy clients. Every week, every week, you have to get Google reviews from happy clients. 2, you have to get video reviews from happy clients. 3, your ads have to be on. 4, we've got to do the group interview every single week. You have to do it. 5, you got to call the leads and record the calls. We got to record the calls. And then you got to train people. And it's over and over and over, like a maniacal obsession with doing the same thing over and over. Why don't most people by default do these items if they don't have weekly mentorship or accountability? Why don't people just go to the gym and get jacked without a trainer?
Because it's not fun. That, for one thing, like doing, going out and getting a Google review. Well, I've done that a few hundred times. It's not, there's no excitement about it. It's not fun, but it moves the needle. And I've seen that for long enough that I know. I think for some people, they don't realize what kind of impact it'll make. Keeping your ads on. I mean, people, what I see a lot is I see people go, well, business is a little bit slower, so I'd like to pull back on the ads. I'm like, if business is slower, you need to accelerate the ads, not pull them back, or at least be consistent and keep it there.
Have you ever heard people say they quit doing the group interview because they're fully staffed now?
Oh, yeah.
They don't need to do the interview because they're fully staffed.
People go in and out of like ebbing and flowing, and instead of just doing the core repeatable actions over and over and over again, they want to do the new idea. Oh, but I've got this new idea about branding. I thought it'd be a real sizzle if we could change the logo.
Change the logo
and make it bigger.
Change the logo. Make the logo bigger.
Needs to get bigger.
If the logo was bigger,
sizzle,
it would be more fun, a little more sizzle. So we talk about this. This is big stuff for everyone to know out there. I'm going to pull up a different business we work with called Flutter. Flutter is not a dog training franchise, but just as an example, and with her business, every single week she does eyelash extensions.
Oh yeah,
and Kendra has grown her business dramatically.
Sharp lady.
You got to get Google reviews. Now, this isn't for every client. Every business is a little different, but for this particular business, she has to get Google reviews every week. We've got to write search engine content. We've got to keep the Facebook ads on. We've got to keep the retargeting ads on. We've got to make sure we're getting video testimonials. The leads come in. The calls have to be recorded. We have to use the pre-written scripts, the pre-written emails. The calls have to be recorded. Training has to happen. And everybody out there, she has multiple locations now. And at each of her locations, multiple locations, but each location, every week, they have to do the group interview.
We do too.
They have to have the manager meeting.
Yep, we do too.
They have to do the huddle.
We do too.
And yet, and so again, with somebody who the greats tend to bore down when mediocre people struggle with boredom.
So true.
So they want to bring in a new sales trainer or a new marketing guy with a new approach.
Let's take a new approach.
And they usually don't follow anything. Usually the people pitching ideas don't run a team.
No.
They usually just have random ideas. So let's focus back on Score Basketball. Then we'll go to Tip Top Canine. So JT, with Score Basketball, I'm trying not to cause any flashbacks, but this is the actual tracking sheet for Score Basketball, their current tracking sheet.
Yep.
And every week I ask them, guys, how many leads do you get? Why do I ask them every week? How many leads did you guys get?
Because you have to know, one, where they're coming from, two, and then you need to know how many, so you can, like Antis was saying, either you need to put the throttle on or pull back, but you have to know what you're doing, or else you're just going to.
I'm not asking you to throw your Score Basketball compadres under the bus.
Okay.
Was there ever a time where people would not have gotten Google reviews if they knew that I wasn't going to harass them every single week?
Well, I won't name names. I'm not throwing anyone under the bus.
Yeah,
but even when you said to do things, they would not do them and then come look at you and say, I did them. And what? No, you didn't. And so they're telling you they're making cold calls and that they're getting other stuff.
But they didn't.
Oh, yeah. And you can lie on the cold calls, but you can't lie on the Google reviews, because then you just go check and you're like, okay, how many you get? And they're like 15. You're like, awesome, let's see. You pull it up and you got 0. Now, I thought I did.
Now we're installing a large Blockbuster sign in the background.
Yes,
so that's what that sound is. It's going to be awesome. Now you go here and you look up 85% of employees lie on their resume. So I want to be very clear. The reason why, as a business coach, why I go over the same things every week, and this is what's crazy, it's called cognitive dissonance. I actually have met business owners that lie to themselves.
Oh, yeah.
They'll say, oh, man, I got 20 reviews. Woo! And I go, I'm opening it in the tracking sheet. I'm showing 4. And they go, I got to be honest with you. I'm lying about that. And that happens. Oh, that's probably,
well, no, I got 20. They must have just taken away 16 of them.
But I mean, this is very normal in my life for people to say those kind of statements and to say, oh, no, I did. And now I'm not shocked by it, because 75% of employees steal from the workplace.
Yeah.
So with a brand like Tip Top, you really, the brand can't really not work because the systems work. But nothing will work unless you work.
Ooh, there it is.
So 75% of employees steal from the workplace. 85% of people lie on the resume. 96% of people their businesses failed. So you go back to Score Basketball. We got to get Google reviews. We got to get video reviews. Got to do the group interview.
Yep.
And JT, how did you decide that it was a good fit to buy a Tip Top canine? Like, what made you jump from going? Because you saw me work with business owners every day, day in, day out. You worked in the office and you would see clients come in that had unsuccessful companies, and you would watch these companies have massive growth, no matter what the industry was. Why did you decide that you wanted to buy a Tip Top canine?
Yeah, well, and Aaron can attest to this, but when I've been in your office, I see that people who listen to you and are diligent and implement the systems, they just have massive growth and they succeed. Where the people who push back and try to argue, it's magic, but they don't. So I saw that Tip Top, they're implementing what you're saying.
Right.
And they're doing everything. You've systemized everything for them. And so, one, it's a franchise. So, and when you open up a franchise, the stuff they have already works, which you help them get to that point where it works.
Yeah.
And so then it's like the bumper rails are up, but then also each individual location gets coaching from you guys and Thrive. So then it's like, I have the little dragon ramp thing that I just push the bowling ball down. So literally all I have to do is push and do the work, and you guys aim everything.
And again, this is what's great
That's a
is
good way to
within
put it.
6 weeks of training, Ryan and Rachel do a phenomenal job training people on how to train dogs. So if you're out there listening today and you're saying, I want to shift industries, we've got people that have worked in the mortgage industry that then shifted into dog training. They did great. In your case, you came from a basketball background, you switched, you're doing great. We got people moving from the concrete industry doing great. People moving from the fitness training industry doing great. People moving from all different industries. And I think the common denominator with all of the franchisees is I don't think that anybody previous to buying a Tip Top Canine franchise was a dog trainer. Right. Now, unless I'm missing something, and maybe I'm wrong, because maybe I am missing something. The purpose of a business is to create time freedom and financial freedom for the owner.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So this is a big thing. Maybe this is a controversial idea. Dr. Zellner and I know we share the same worldview, but Dr. Zellner is the #1 gross revenue optometrist in Oklahoma. And I'm one of the top haircut chains in Oklahoma. And I haven't even been to my store in 3 years. And I'm probably never going to go to the haircut store again because I would rather take that time to go to a competitor and mystery shop, Yeah. So the purpose of an elephant in the room, men's grooming lounge, is so that I can create time freedom and financial freedom. So I don't need to cut the hair personally I don't need to have a passion about hair in order to do well in that business. And I think that's where a lot of people get confused, is because the purpose of a business is to create time freedom and financial freedom. Yeah. So if we look at Tip Top Canine Nashville now, as you're opening up Tip Top and you're doing well there, where are you at in the phase right now? Are you getting leads?
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of leads. I'm getting anywhere between 12 and 18 leads a week.
So let's be clear. The average ticket, how much is the average ticket price?
Average is the average $1 sale right now is about $1,500, anywhere between $1,200 and $1,500.
So people
that's the average per $1.
So people pay $1 for the first Tip Top Canine dog training lesson, right?
Yep.
They fill out the form. The call center calls them. You show up, and you're saying you're converting. You're getting 12 leads a week on average. Is that an accurate statement, you think?
Yeah, anywhere between I haven't been under 12 in weeks.
And are you getting Google reviews and video reviews every week?
I've never not gotten a video review from a client who's finished dog training. There's not one yet that I haven't got.
And are you getting the group interview? You doing that?
I am doing the group interview.
So you got the group interview, you got the Google reviews.
Yep.
You got the video reviews. Your ads are running.
Yep.
What's your biggest limiting factor? What's the one thing that once you solve that problem, it'll unleash more growth?
Currently the biggest limiting factor is just finding people that can show up on time. And I just did group interviews again. I'm doing it every week. Yep. And last night there was about 5 good quality people. So I had 3 shadow today. I'm probably going to hire 2 to 3, and then I got 2 shadowing Saturday. So that problem's going to be solved quick. So
the group interview, now, Aaron, if you took out the group interview from shawhomes.com, again, which is one of Oklahoma's largest home building companies, if you stopped that process, what would happen?
We would have major problems because we're a big enough company that I've found that people quit or leave when it's convenient for them and not when it's convenient for me. And so we'll have people, life happens. We just had one of our top people left because they were moving out of state to be with family that's getting elderly and taking care of their family. And so they made that life choice to move, and they love Shaw Homes and would love to be here, but they need to go help family. And so that's one of my key people, and I had to replace them. And because we were doing the group interview, I had multiple people in mind the day that person said, hey, I'm about 2 weeks away from leaving. I already had the person lined up to put into that position. So it would be devastating to me to not have that, because then I got to go, oh my God, I have an emergency. This is a burning fire. Let me go start an ad and hope to get somebody in so then I can interview them and then I can pick them. I had multiple candidates from previous weeks already ready and in mind to be able to hire right off the bat. And our turnaround time was literally 1 day, and we had a person.
So again, JT, how big of a selling point was it when it came to buying a Tip Top Canine that I was involved and that my systems would be used?
The true reason is it's actually the only reason I did it.
And I'll tell you this, every business that I've ever been involved in does great.
Yep.
That's true.
And the only business that I've ever got involved in that hasn't been like a mediocre, like a massive meteoric, like rocket ship super success story was our online school. And I'll tell you about the online school. It's $19 a month. And it's sort of like tried to make it super affordable for entrepreneurs to learn entrepreneurship if they can't afford one-on-one coaching.
Right.
And, you know, I mean, you got to have a lot of people paying $19 a month to be lucrative, you know?
Yeah.
So it pays the bills, but I'm telling you, every business that I've been involved in, they all scale. And the question is, am I a genius? No. Is Dr. Zellner a genius? No. It's because we know the proven systems. And so the big idea I want to communicate today is if you want to create time and financial freedom, you must master the crap, the core, repeatable, actionable processes. So JT, let's just say in the future, as your Tip Top continues to grow, and if you were in the future and you were, let's say there's 50 franchisees in the future and they are all just doing great.
Yep.
And you got hired to speak at that conference to teach the things that make the Tip Top successful, what would be the things that you would make sure that every Tip Top canine owner masters, in addition to being a great dog trainer?
In addition to that is systems. So all of the systems, holding people accountable to the systems, actually jumping on the weekly coaching call so that you guys can help them. Like if I could only pick one, it would be to hop on that call, because then questions they have, they can ask, they can get it answered. And then also it's just the accountability factor of actually doing what you need to do. I know, I see you laughing at this. And then that would be the biggest things are all of the systems that you guys already have implemented. Just do them and just figure out, like you did on the in your book that you were talking about here. Figure out how many hours you're willing to work. Have all of that set in stone. Figure out your F6 goals that you talk about, so that you remember that the vehicle, that the business is a vehicle to get you to your destination. It's not your overall life, because then people get stuck. And then they get stuck in creative ideas and all that stuff. So it's just staying on the path and implementing the systems.
Although you're running a successful location and your sales are blowing up and you like your own dog, how passionate are you about actually the art of dog training? Like how big of a, you know, I mean, do you wake up every day going, what I want to do today is train dogs. That's my passion. What are your, because again, people, I think when in franchising, you know, I've met so many of the OxyFresh franchise owners over the year at oxyfresh.com, and almost none of them care about carpet. No one's like, oh man, no. Really want to clean that carpet. Greg, are you okay? Sorry, I blacked out. I was focusing on that carpet. Can I touch your carpet? Is that okay? Greg, we're not going to invite you over if you keep touching the carpet. You know,
Quit licking the carpet.
Quit licking the carpet, Greg. Sorry, I'm writing a book right now called Carpet and what it means to me. I mean, it's just,
why have you stapled your head to the carpet, Greg?
So, I mean, as far as is dog training itself like a big life passion for you? Do you wake up with this burning desire to train dogs?
No, I love my dog. I like dogs, but I don't truly wake up and like, oh, this is what I want to do. I want to train dogs. I want to be patient all day and work with them. I'm not super passionate about like training dogs. I like dogs. And I love my dog, but I don't just wake up with a burning desire to be all things dog training.
So why did you buy a Tip Top Canine franchise? Is the goal to create time freedom and financial freedom? Is that the real goal?
So the only goal is to be able to live the life I want. And I can't do that without time freedom and financial freedom. And me and Antis talked about it at one of your conferences. I said my goal was to have 5 rental properties, and my favorite places to travel.
Yep.
And he said, well, mine was 10. And I was like, okay, well, now mine's 11. So
I love it, JT.
I love it. Well, brother, thank you for carving out time. And again, I just want to encourage everybody out there. If you own a franchise, let's say you don't own a Tip Top Canine, but you own any other kind of business franchise. The franchise that you bought is successful because they introduced a proven system. Yep. And what you want to do is you want to master those core, repeatable, actionable processes. You want to master the core, repeatable, actionable processes. And remember, the greats among us, they bored down while the rest of the world chases shiny things and struggles with boredom. So JT, thank you for joining us. And again, folks, if you want to learn more about owning a Tip Top Canine franchise, you can learn more about that at timetofreeamerica.com. We have a button there where you can find jobs that don't require the shots, or you can go directly to tiptopcanine.com. I would encourage you to go directly to tiptopcanine.com to learn more. JT, you smell terrific. Thanks a lot.
See you, Jim.
Thanks, sir.
Bye.
See you guys.
I played basketball at the University of Oklahoma, and my father was a high school coach. When I got out of college, what I wanted to do was sports coach. I coached in college for about 4 years, and then I had my son, and life changed. And my son was terminally ill. He had muscular dystrophy, what's called Duchenne's. At the time, I was working for a school. I needed to make more money because of all, doctor bills, all that kind of stuff you got to buy and everything. And so I started doing just a side program with SCORE, just doing a few basketball lessons. My schedule filled up. At the time, my son was in a wheelchair. It got to be quite a struggle with him. And so it was a constant fight every day of, do I work? Do I spend my time with him? How much time do I spend with working? But what I learned from all of it is you still got to get your job done. Well, I'm not a business owner, and I'm probably a terrible business owner. Back a couple of years ago, because I had parents tell me all the time, well, I wish I'd have known about you 3 years ago, or I've never heard of SCORE. We get that all the time. And then doing the finances, just everything that I had to do was just eating me alive. It would take hours every day. And so I needed to get smart about doing my business. All of us need a game plan. And Thrive 15 has helped me tremendously with that game plan. We changed how I was charging. We changed the programs we were doing. We changed the advertisement we were doing. We started doing everything smart. We're the largest basketball facility in this 3 or 4 state area. We have people that call us from all over Oklahoma because of our website. My time has been freed up tremendously because I'm not involved in all the little things. It's just streamlining your business so it's not taking just all of your time away from your family, because my wife's very important to me, my kids, I got to have some of that as well. And as a business owner, if you allow your business to eat you up, well, it's not really worth it. You got to have a value of life as well. We wouldn't be where we're at today without Thrive 15.
My name is Danielle Sprick, and I am the founder of D Sprick Realty Group here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. After being a stay-at-home mom for 12 years and my 3 kids started school and they were in school full-time, I was at a crossroads and trying to decide what do I want to do? My degree and my background is in education, but after being a mom and staying home and all of that, I just didn't have a passion for it like I once did. My husband suggested real estate. He's a home builder, so real estate and home building go hand in hand, and we just rolled with it. I love people, I love working with people, I love building relationships. But one thing that was really difficult for me was the business side of things, the processes and the advertising and marketing. I knew that I did not have what I needed to make that what it should be. So I reached out to Clay at that time, and he and his team have been extremely instrumental in helping us build our brand, help market our business, our agents, the homes that we represent. Everything that we do is a direct line from Clay and his team and all that they've done for us. We launched our brokerage, our real estate brokerage, 8 months ago. And in that time, we've gone from myself and one other agent to just this week, we signed on our 16th agent. We have been blessed with the fact that we right now have just over 10 million in pending transactions. 3 years ago, I never would have even imagined that I would be in this role that I'm in today, building a business, having 16 agents. But I have to give credit where credit's due, and Clay and his team and the business coaching that they've offered us has been huge. It's been instrumental in what we're doing. Don't ever limit your vision. When you dream big, big things happen.
I started a business because I couldn't work for anyone else. I do things my way. I do what I think is in the best interest of the patient. I don't answer to insurance companies. I don't answer to large corporate organizations. I answer to my patient, and that's it. My thought when I opened my clinic was I can do this all myself. I don't need additional outside help in many ways. I went to medical school. I can figure this out. But it was a very, very steep learning curve. Within the first 6 months of opening my clinic, I had a $63,000 embezzlement. I lost multiple employees. Clay helped us weather the storm of some of the things that are just a lot of people experience, especially in the medical world. He was instrumental in helping with the specific written business plan. He's been instrumental in hiring good quality employees, using the processes that he outlines for getting in good talent, which is extremely difficult. He helped me in securing the business loans. He helped me with web development and search engine optimization. We've been able to really keep a steady stream of clients coming in because they found us on the web. With everything that I encountered, everything that I experienced, I quickly learned it is worth every penny to have someone in your team that can walk you through and even avoid some of the pitfalls that are almost invariable in starting your own business. I'm Dr. Chad Edwards, and I own Revolution Health and Wellness Clinic.
I'm Rachel with Tip Top Canine, and we just want to give a huge thank you to Clay and Vanessa Clark.
Hey guys, I'm Ryan with Tip Top Canine. Just want to say a big thank you to Thrive 15. Thank you to Make Your Life Epic. We love you guys, we appreciate you, and really just appreciate how far you've taken us.
This is our old house, right? This is where we used to live a few years ago. This is our old neighborhood. See? It's nice, right?
So this is my old van and our old school marketing, and this is our old team. And by team, I mean it's me and another guy.
This is our new house with our new neighborhood. This is our new van with our new marketing, and this is our new team. We went from 4 to 14, and I took this beautiful photo. We worked with several different business coaches in the past, and they were all about helping Ryan sell better and just teaching sales, which is awesome, but Ryan is a really great salesman. So we didn't need that. We needed somebody to help us get everything that was in his head out into systems, into manuals and scripts, and actually build a team. So now that we have systems in place, we've gone from 1 to 10 locations in only a year.
In October 2016, we grossed 13 grand for the whole month. Right now it's 2018, the month of October. It's only the 22nd. We've already grossed a little over 50 grand for the whole month, and we still have time to go. We're just thankful for you, thankful for Thrive and your mentorship, and we're really thankful that you guys have helped us to grow a business that we run now instead of the business running us. Just thank you times 1,000.
So we really just want to thank you, Clay, and thank you, Vanessa, for everything you've done, everything you've helped us with. We love you guys.
Right there.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
What did it?
Freeze. Yeah, here
Wow.
he is. Good boy, Rhodey. Good boy. Look, that's Clay. You want to say something to Clay? Bark. Bark. Oh, that's Clay. That's Clay right there.
Wow.
Oh! Okay, see?
And
See
the good folks at Tip Top Canine kind of helped mentor you into your dog training skill set. Am I correct? Is that right?
Yeah. That's right. No, I had all the full training with Rhodey, and he would have eaten you, Clay. If you were here in person, he would have just ripped an arm off. You got to be careful.
Okay, now we're going to move into the heavier stuff here. Now that we've covered that, I suppose I want to make sure from an animal cruelty perspective, you weren't using a part of a dog as a windscreen. One thing, it's super self-serving because I have partnered with the brand and have worked with the brand for a long time. Mike, I just wanted to ask you here. Feel free to punt if you want, but the good folks at Tip Top Canine, why I like them is they're providing opportunities for people that don't want to take the jab. So if you have a job, but you don't want to take the jab, I think that's going to be an increasingly difficult thing to find. And so if you're looking for a career that doesn't require the taking of the COVID-19 shots, the good folks at Tip Top Canine, they have a 6-week training program where in 6 weeks, you can learn how to open your own Tip Top Canine franchise. There's approaching 20 locations all over the country. Mike, you've worked with the Tip Top folks. Has your dog eaten you yet? Are you happy with the service? How's it been going so far?
Tip Top Canine is just amazing. I mean, really interacting with those folks and getting this dog changed my life. I mean, that's not an exaggeration. And I just want to put this offer out there to anybody listening who wants to consider opening a Tip Top Canine franchise. Once you open a franchise, I will announce it for free. I'll publicize it on my podcast because what I learned from these guys, it's so life-changing. Even I'm training my other dogs, Clay. Now that I learned, let me back up. So Tip Top Canine people trained me, first of all, on how to train dogs, including this military dog I have here. And
Wow.
then I took that knowledge and now I'm training my other dogs who I thought were uncontrollable. And now guess what? They come when I call them. It's amazing using the training techniques. Even a guy like me, who's not a professional dog trainer, even I'm competent at training my own dogs now. But this is a great opportunity in any city in America, that's available for the franchises. People want to bring their dogs and have them trained because more people are working at home. More lockdowns are probably coming, God forbid, but people need to be able to get along with their pets. And Tip Top Canine really is effective at making that happen. That's just my testimonial right there. Feel free to use it.
Mike Adams, thank you so much for carving out time. I really do appreciate you very much. Your studio is looking great there, sir. I know it's been a long time coming. You've been one of the first truth-telling voices in the movement, one of the most heavily censored people in America. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate you for investing in lighting and sound that makes you look better.
Well, see, we're giving you our wide shot here right now. This is the wide shot of the studio. Yeah,
you look great.
Just to show you, it's real. It's not a green screen. No, we actually built
good.
it. So
it looks great, Mike.
It's coming along. It's coming along. Yours has always looked awesome, but we finally upgraded to Clay's level of studio.
Mike, seriously, I say this: any of the events that you've ever wanted, if we ever do a Reawaken America tour, the door's always open for you. I appreciate all the work you do behind the scenes, keeping people focused on exposing the truth. You really are a leader in the truth movement. I appreciate that, sir. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Well, thank you, Clay. We're working at it. And again, keep me posted. If anybody joins the Tip Top Canine franchise, we want to announce it and help get all these dogs under control all across America so they don't, eat our microphones and things like that.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. Take care.
Right. Thank you, Clay. Bye. All right. Bye.
Hey, I'm Ryan Wimpy with Tip Top Canine, and I'm the founder.
I'm Rachel Wimpy, and I am a co-founder.
So we've been running Tip Top for about the last 14 years, franchising for the last 3-4 years. So someone that'd be a good fit for Tip Top loves dogs, they're high energy, they want to be able to own their own job, but they don't want to worry about, that high failure rate. They want to do that like bowling with bumper lanes.
So you give us a call, reach out to us, we'll call you, and then we'll send you an FDD, look over that, read it, fall asleep to it, it's very boring, and then we'll book a discovery day, and you come and you can spend a day or two with us, make sure that you actually like it, make sure training dogs is something that you want to do.
So an FDD is a franchise disclosure document. It's a federally regulated document that goes into all the nitty-gritty details of what the franchise agreement entails.
So who would be a good fit to buy a Tip Top Canine would be somebody who loves dogs, who wants to work with dogs all day as their profession. You'll make a lot of money, you'll have a lot of fun, it's very rewarding. And who would not be a good fit is a cat person.
So the upfront cost for Tip Top is $43,000. And a lot of people say they're generating doctor money, but on our disclosure, the numbers are anywhere from over $1 million a year in dog training, what our Oklahoma City location did last year, to 25, 35 grand a month.
To train and get trained by us for Tip Top Canine, to run your own Tip Top Canine, you would be with us for 6 weeks here in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
So we've been married for 7 years.
8 years.
8 years. So if you're watching this video, you're like, hey, maybe I want to be a dog trainer. Hey, that one sounds super amazing. Go to our website, tiptopcanine.com, click on the yellow franchising tab, fill out the form, and Rachel and I will give you a call. Our Oklahoma City location last year, they did over $1 million. He's been running that shop for 3 years. Before, he was a youth pastor with 0 sales experience, 0 dog training experience before he ever met with us.
So just call us, come spend a day with us, spend a couple days with us, make sure you like training dogs, and own your own business.
Well, the biggest reason to buy a Tip Top Canine is so you own your own job and you own your own future, and you don't hate your life. You get an enjoyable job that brings a lot of income, but is really rewarding.
Hello, my name is Charles Kolaw with Kolaw Fitness. Today I want to tell you a little bit about Clay Clark and how I know Clay Clark. Clay Clark has been my business coach since 2017. He's helped us grow from 2 locations to now 6 locations. We're planning to do 7 locations in 7 years and then franchise. And Clay has done a great job of helping us navigate anything that has to do with like running the business, building the systems, the checklists, the workflows, the audits, how to navigate lease agreements, how to buy property, how to work with brokers and builders. This guy is just amazing. He's this kind of guy has worked in every single industry. He's written books with like Lee Cockrell, head of Disney, with the 40,000 cast members. He's friends with like Mike Lindell. He does Reawaken America tours, where he does these tours all across the country, where 10,000 or more people show up to some of these tours. On the day-to-day, he does anywhere from about 160 companies. He's at the top. He has a team of business coaches, videographers, and graphic designers and web developers, and they run 160 companies every single week. So think of this guy with a team of business coaches running 160 companies. So in the weekly, he's running 160 companies. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's doing Reawaken America tours. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's also doing business conferences where 200 people show up, and he teaches people a 13-step proven system that he's done and worked with billionaires, helping them grow their companies. So I've seen guys from startups go from startup to being multimillionaires, teaching people how to get time freedom and financial freedom through the system. Critical thinking, document creation, putting it into organizing everything in their head to building into a franchisable, scalable business. Like one of his businesses has like 500 franchises. That's just one of the companies or brands that he works with. So amazing guy. Elon Musk, kind of like smart guy. He kind of comes off sometimes as socially awkward, but he's so brilliant, and he's taught me so much. When I say that, like Clay is like, he doesn't care what people think when you're talking to him. He cares about where you're going in your life and where he can get you to go. And that's what I like most about him. He's like a good coach. A coach isn't just making you feel good all the time. A coach is actually helping you get to the best you. And Clay has been an amazing business coach. Through the course of that, we became friends. I was really most impressed with him is when I was shadowing him one time. We went into a business deal and listened to it. I got to shadow and listen to it. And when we walked out, I knew that he could make millions on the deal. And they were super excited about working with him. And he told me, he's like, I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to turn it down, because he knew it was going to harm the common good of people in the long run. And the guy's integrity just really wowed me. It brought tears to my eyes to see that this guy, his highest desire was to do what's right. And anyways, just an amazing man. So anyways, impacted me a lot. He's helped navigate anytime I've got nervous or worried about how to run the company, or navigating competition and an economy that's like, I remember we got closed down for 3 months. He helped us navigate on how to stay open, how to get back open, how to just survive through all the COVID shutdowns, lockdowns, because our clubs were all closed for 3 months, and you have $350,000 of bills you've got to pay, and we have no accounts receivable. He helped us navigate that, and of course we were conservative enough that we could afford to take that on for a period of time. But it was anyways, great man. I'm very impressed with him. So Clay, thank you for everything you're doing, and I encourage you, if you haven't ever worked with Clay, work with Clay. He's going to help magnify you, and there's nobody I have ever met that has the ability to work as hard as he does. He probably sleeps 4, maybe 6 hours a day, and literally the rest of the time he's working, and he can outwork everybody in the room every single day, and he loves it. So anyways, this is Charles Kola with Kola Fitness. Thank you, Clay, and anybody out there that's wanting to work with Clay, it's a great opportunity to ever work with him. So you guys have a blessed one. This is Charles Kola. We'll see you guys. Bye-bye.
All right, so if you want to schedule a one-on-one consultation to learn about the business growth consulting that I provide, you can schedule that or learn more about that at thrivetimeshow.com. Again, thrivetimeshow.com. If you want to attend one of our in-person 2-day interactive business workshops, you can learn more about that at thrivetimeshow.com. And the way we charge for that is it's a $250 or whatever price you choose to pay to attend our in-person workshops. I do that not to give people a handout, but to give people a hand up. And we want to make those workshops affordable for everybody. And again, you can get those tickets at thrivetimeshow.com. Also, you can book the complimentary 13-point assessment with myself to see how we can help you grow your business and take it to the next level. And if you go to thrivetimeshow.com and you click on testimonials, you can see thousands of entrepreneurs just like you that we've helped to grow over and over again. That's just what I do. Growing businesses is my thing. It's easy for me to do, and it will be easy for you to do if you just follow the proven path. And then finally, if you want to schedule a consultation to learn more about opening a tip-top canine franchise. Full disclosure, it'll take you about 6 weeks of training to become a Tip Top Canine franchise owner. And I would encourage you to learn more and schedule a free consultation to learn if opening a Tip Top Canine is right for you by going to tiptopcanine.com.
The Thrive Time Show 2-day interactive business workshops are the highest and most reviewed business workshops on the planet.
You can learn the proven 13-point business systems that Dr. Zellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specific steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you raise capital? How do you get a small business loan? We teach you everything you need to know here during a 2-day, 15-hour workshop. It's all here for you. You work every day in your business, but for 2 days you can escape and work on your business and build these proven systems so now you can have a successful company that will produce both the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve. You're going to leave energized, motivated, but you're also going to leave empowered. The reason why I've built these workshops is because as an entrepreneur, I always wish that I had this. And because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it, it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, and I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look at Robert Zellner and Associates. Look them up and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this facility for you, and we're excited to see you.